Imagine going to school every day, being placed in groups with slackers, and in these groups your two options are to fail or take over and pass. Failing is not an option, and with every project you over time feel much less inclined to rely on your peers, as they repeatedly destroy the little trust you hand them for equal participation. Imagine then going to a high school that's all about collaboration, communication, critical thinking, etc. Imagine being in a project where people are willing to help you. Imagine being me. When I came to New Tech, I came for several purposes, one of which was to be prepared for a life after school. Throughout the years, I will be required to learn different skills. Two of these skills I will need to learn are collaboration and communication. There's this little comic here, I don't know if you can see it that well, but I'm going to give you some time to read it. And the point of this is that I'm Calvin, and New Tech is the father, or Calvin's the boy. New Tech is the father, and New Tech's trying to support me and help me get through life and prepare the skills I need, and I don't trust them yet. There you go, I think that should be enough. Collaboration, the act of working with someone to produce something or create something. At New Tech, collaboration branches off into more specific topics: equal participation, roles to play, group norms, expectations, etc. My first artifact for this skill is an excellent example of what not to do when collaborating. It was the first project of the year taught in Freshman Studies by Miss Alderman, and it was called Success in New Tech. This project was designed for students to come up with 5 tips that they would strongly advise to the freshmen of next year. These tips would vary from no procrastination to putting as much effort as possible. This was the first team project of the year. As I have already said, I was the co-leader in my team. I had 3 other teammates than me. My co-leader helped greatly with keeping us on track. We would use letters from alumni and interview upperclassmen for research. Half the team didn't even do the research, which set us back a few days. Personally, I think we had very little communication, since I cannot recall any moments of us rehearsing the project outside of class. We did the research separately, the rehearsing separately. The slides were formed together as a team, but the rest was very separate, like we weren't prepared to trust each other. Our first rehearsal was actually the dress rehearsal. My starting point of collaboration was exactly what not to do when collaborating. Over time, I started changing some of my collaboration habits, seeing if I could work more efficiently with my classmates. A small improvement from my first project of freshman year, the PowerPoint Skit project showed me how teams are actually supposed to function. The PowerPoint Skit project was New Tech 101. Mr. Faulkner had the class use Chapter 3 from our Career Choices workbook, which is a career and life planning guide. I was on a team of 3 other people, making a total of 4 people. Using Chapter 3 from our workbook, our theme was to be about self-actualization with 2 situations, one bad and one good. The script ended up resembling a really bad drunk driving why did I say that? Commercial. Since we spent a massive majority of our time screwing around, I was fine with settling with any script, as long as we had one. After getting a script, we kept changing the plot line since it wasn't school appropriate. We actually did share ideas and rehearse while working on the project, making this much different from my freshman Success 5 Tips project. The skip helped me learn from equal participation. The problem is, we were gifted 2 months to complete the project and had gotten nowhere. During the last 2 weeks of the project, we barely had a plot line. I started hijacking the group, forcing my team to spitball ideas. Keep in mind, I was not even the team leader, so that was already pretty bad as it was. And when the plotline was created, I planned on creating a skit of my own using the text messages we had on our school emails. Our grade turned out perfectly fine, so my hijacking was for absolutely no reason. But from this project, I learned that discussing and contributing ideas is essential for collaboration. From my next artifact, my artifact 3, this project was in Block 1. It was taught by Peterson/Pemberton, and it was called the What's the Deal with West Egg project. We started with selecting 10 terms from a list of given words. From there, we analyzed steep terms from the list with who, what, when, where, and why. When completing the terms research, we were reading the novel. When we finished the novel, we were assigned into teams and picked our chapters to reenact. My team began with 5 team members. We had Chapter 3, which was when Nick went to Gatsby's party. After deciding our roles, we completed the Great Gatsby reading journal. This assignment involved an analysis of our characters' traits, backgrounds, role in the story, style, which means says, thinks, affects, acts, and looks. One moment. The chapter's tone, theme, symbols, steep terms relating to the character, as I previously mentioned, conflict, setting, and plot. And then we began constructing the script, which was basically a rewrite of the actual chapter. We looked at the quotes and read it word by word. We inserted where our monologue would cut in and reviewed the level of collaboration from our peers in the group. Everyone would cut in and Everyone seemed to know just what to do. It was quite easy to work with them, and when needing to know something, we had a way of contacting one another. We all finished our work on time with genuine effort and good quality. Normally, when I'm in a team, I have this mindset. It's set if I fail the project, I will die in some unrealistic, dramatic way. And when I'm working with this team, I didn't feel the need to hijack. I could actually trust my teammates to commit to their roles. Looking back, I did have a lot of reasons to not trust my peers, but I also didn't have good reasons for why I ignored help. And being at New Tech has given me more opportunities to open up to trusting people who also wish to work hard towards the same goal. I can experiment more with different ways on how much I can trust a person. It is true that every person is an individual and works in their own way, which is why I figured the best method I should use so far is to step back and see where people need help.